Okay, we are about ready to get started covering this case. What you're going to need is you're going to need your fabric that you've OD coated, so I've got that. We're going to need glue, and I use Aleenes Aleene's tacky glue. I get it at Walmart, and I get a big bottle. I have a cup because otherwise you're always trying to get the glue down to the bottom, so I always leave it sitting in my cup. And we're going to use this credit card again that came with the OD coat. But I decided this time, instead of having my cut in the middle, I want my cut to be right near an edge. So as you're looking at the back, it looks like a full piece. When you look from the side, it looks like a full piece of material. And we'll meet our materials right on the corner. So I'm hoping maybe that won't be as noticeable. So I'm gonna get started. I'm so excited. I think, let's see, I'll start this direction. And my directional fabric, this is up. My words are going up. So, and I'm gonna have to watch my line and line that up. So I'm gonna start it, not like that. So we're all ready. I've got my fabric the right direction. I'll lay it where I want it to be. I'm gonna get a rag because your fingers get pretty sticky doing this. So I've got a wet rag over here. So I've got my glue. I'm just gonna put out a glob of glue on here. And it took me, on my last one, about 3/4 of a bottle for the inside and out. So this bottle's getting low, but I did get another one this morning when I went to the store. That's probably why I had a hard time. Okay, I'm gonna get a credit card, and I'm gonna spread my glue around. You could use a brush, whatever you want. And I'm just gonna put my glue, I only want to glue from here to here at this point, and then I'm gonna let it dry so it won't move around on me later on my later steps. So I'm just gonna smear that glue nicely over this area. I need a little more. I do. I think I'm gonna have to clean my glue bottle. At this point, I'm not going to do this edge. I want to leave that dry. I'm just going to do the flat part. And you want to scrape the glue off pretty thin. Doesn't need to be super thick. Now, I plan to just keep going around the case. So I'm pulling that glue around to the next side. I want to make sure I have it on the edge, but I don't want it up on my curve. I'm putting it on the corners of this one. So I've got glue around my corner and on the top. This is kind of tricky, and especially when I can't turn it around so you can't see it, I have to leave it this direction. I want to line my line up that we made with the top of what I've glued. And I just want to leave a little bit in the back. You can always pick it up and move it around, but I'd rather not a whole lot. Okay, I'll hit it from this way, that's easier. Okay, I'm lining my line up with the top. what I'm trying to do is make it when I cut my seam, I just want it right on the curve. So let's look. The line doesn't have to be perfect, but it just kind of keeps you smooth. And I've got a big bubble here, so I'm going to lift up and push that bubble out. So I've got my first piece on. Then I'm going to roll it out really good to get all the bubbles. I'm just going to use my rolling pin and roll all those bubbles of glue and air out. Then I kind of look at an angle. I've got a bubble right here, so I'm going to try to work that out. And the nice thing about the material with the Odie coat on it, even as you're working, it still kind of works like material. You can kind of move it around a little bit. But you want to try to get as many bubbles as you can out. You know, look nice in the long run. Use my hand and I'm going to wrap it around that corner where we had glue, where we put glue. Make sure I've got a little air bubble there. I'm going to pull up, get that out of there. Pull up, get it out. This material. And it's not going to hurt if you get a little glue on your fabric because it is Odie coated. So now as I'm working with this, my glue will not soak up and through my material and discolor my material. Besides the waterproofing, that's the main reason I like the Odie coat. It's like working with very, very thin vinyl. Okay, that side looks good. Flip it over. Make sure my words are up. They are. Now I'm going to work on putting some glue on this side. Do the back side now, and we didn't do this corner, and we're only going to glue maybe up to here because we want our glue to dry, and then we'll work on getting a nice cut here. So we'll try to line up our line again with the top of our case. And my material is lining up perfectly, so I did pretty good. Go all the way around and check and make sure I don't have any horrible air bubbles. Kind of pull each direction. feel them with your hand more than anything. It's already starting to dry on. Okay, got it all glued on. Then I've got this area here that I'm going to work with later to make a nice cut so we don't have them lap over in our fabric. So we're going to let that dry.